Hi, everybody. Welcome. So, today I want to talk about my predictions for where I think social media is going to be in relation to um, creators. And I think we're going to see more and more of creators becoming more conscious. So, conscious, there are already a lot of conscious creators, but becoming more conscious in terms of like, okay, they really want to post something, but because it's going to get a lot of views, a lot of likes, but they go through the lens of, okay, but I think this is going to harm some people more than it's going to help or make other people laugh. And so by looking through that lens, we're going to be able to see it becoming more authentic, more than like people think it already is, because it'll be authentic to the soul, the inner self, the true self. And that's going to be really great because then we're going to be able to really have this playing field of really trying to put things out there that we think is going to uplift humanity, uplift people, guide them in a most like loving and positive way. And it doesn't mean like, okay, everyone's just going to jump on board and it's just going to happen tomorrow. Never know. but obviously like it could take time and over a span a few years and whatnot, and people just wanting to look up to people that are more kind and loving and stuff like that. And you see that already where people are a bit more skeptical of certain types of people that are famous that they think are not authentic. And I'm not saying that that's right for anyone to judge that or not, but I'm saying that people seem to want, a lot of people seem to want to see people that are more authentic, more kind, more loving, more humble, more in tune with what's going on in the world and in tune with like who they are, because a lot of people can sense like when someone's not being true to themselves, when they're like not being authentic. And I know that word gets thrown around a lot, but it is an important word because the more work you do on yourself, the more you take off all these layers of all these conditionings from either school or parents or friends and things you watch, then you get to learn like who you are more so, or who you were and are unmasking who you are. And people can see that. People can really see when people are being more true, especially like there are more people that are becoming like, that are like very popular, that are very true. It doesn't mean that they're perfect, but it means that like they're being very true to their voice. And if they do make a mistake, they do see that they made a mistake, they do try to acknowledge it or try to do right in their own way, or try to do better next time. And that being popular and that being the way, and those are the people go to look for information or to see what their thoughts are on things, then that's like the vibration that people are going to be tuned into and people are going to want. And then when someone else comes and they're not as true or authentic, then that might come off more clearly to them that like, hey, maybe something's off, or they feel like they don't like them. And it doesn't mean like we judge those people, but I'm just saying that like it's going to be more of a wanting to see people that are authentic. And so people are going to work more on themselves so that they could show up more authentically. And also people like when they start doing that as well, they're going to start to see more things aligning, like, and more things working out better. Doesn't mean like right away maybe, but even internally, like they might start feeling a bit more fulfilled when they're more aligned with like their values, their morals, their beliefs, and who they are. And obviously like you're still uncovering and unmasking and unlayering it, so it takes time to do that. But the fact that you're showing up and are willing and are trying, people could also see that as well. right? It doesn't mean like, oh, I'm here, I'm now my authentic self. It's just like we're always learning and growing and stuff. So, but people will be able to see that and feel that, and I feel like the generations coming up are very intuitive as well. Like everyone is intuitive, but they're very intuitive and they're more so allowed, especially like maybe in the Western culture and certain cities and stuff in certain places. They are allowed to be more in touch with their feelings or talk about their feelings and stuff like that. And certain words are becoming more normalized, and as they're normalized in the Western hemisphere or the Western world, like they could be normalized, they'll be normalized other places, as other people sometimes look at a lot of media from the Western world as well, like movies and stuff like that, and podcasts and whatnot. And doesn't mean like it's the only place they look at, but it is a place that people look at as well. Not everyone, but many, a lot. And so, and it influences other people maybe in their country that maybe they're not watching people in the Western world, but people in the leadership world of their community are, and or they're going to retreats and stuff like that to grow themselves, and so they're getting influence, and that creates that type of ripple effect as well. So yeah, my prediction is that we're going to start seeing more conscious creators, people that are able to see like, okay, well, I really want to put this up, but I'm going to look through the lens of, is this aligned with my ethics, my values, my beliefs, and stuff like that. And it doesn't mean like you're stopping freedom of speech. That's not what it is. It's just that like sometimes we might be saying stuff, and as we're like learning and growing, we're like, oh wait, that didn't get filtered through like my conscious, and these aren't things I want to put out there because someone might view this sentence and this part in a way that might harm them or their brain. And so as you become more conscious of these things, you're going to not want to be pushing out things right away. And it doesn't mean that like you'll be perfect, but it's just a matter of like wanting to do good for humanity, wanting to look through more different more perspectives, more people are on your mind, and different viewpoints are on your mind. And sometimes it's just about a knowing of like, this needs to be put out there, and it's a loving, kind message. And it could also be funny, loving, and kind, right? Without like hurting anyone. So I think we're going to see a lot more of that. And I think it'll be great, because then when you do watch something and you won't like, it'll be easier to access information that is kinder, more loving, but also like about the topic that you want to hear about. Because sometimes like when we're listening to different podcasts or different shows and stuff like that, they're not doing the work as much on themselves enough to just filter themselves to be able to be mindful with their words, that when you're watching it, you're like, oh, the information is good, but these in between words that they're saying, and not like the ums or likes, which I've been working on too, but not that anyone needs to, that's natural as well. But it's more so that like these in between words that they're saying are not positive, they're not uplifting, and they're negative. And so it's like sitting with a friend, and are you going to be listening to that friend who's negative? And it's just like, well, as long as the information is good and whatnot, we can't just cancel people. Well, it's not about canceling people at all. It's about knowing that the information that you're taking in and the people you're surrounding yourself around is just like what you're listening to as well. Like you're sitting with that person in your home, They might not know you, but you're taking that in. You're taking in that energy. You're taking in their words and stuff like that, because over time you'll start seeing that, like, oh, maybe you're using a word that they constantly use as well. And so we want to be more conscious of that, because we want to make sure we're making our brain more kind, loving, positive, and uplifting. And so I think it'll be great to see how people end up responding to all these more conscious creators. And as more people tune in to being more mindful, then other people are going to be like, okay, what's going on? Why is my likes or my views not as high? Where it's just like, well, are you uplifting? Are you doing things consciously? Are you doing things more lovingly? Because as more creators come on, that's going to be the competition is with you. Really, it's not like, okay, well, there's other people competing with you. It's more so that you're going to be competing with yourself, trying to grow and be more authentic and more loving and kind, which is also great for your brain and your mind and your soul and your body and your vibration. So it all goes hand in hand. And so it'll be great to see that level up of up leveling, because some people have like really great information, but if they're, throwing in some jabs here or there and you ignore it here this time, next time, or whatnot, then it's like, well, it doesn't make you feel great watching it all the time. And at some point you're going to realize, or someone's going to realize, and you're going to find another channel who's giving out great information, but also being good for you as well. So I'm really excited for people to keep growing and keep loving themselves, and keep showing up and being conscious about what they say, what they do, and we're all just trying our best. So it's not about being perfect, but being kind to yourself throughout the process and wanting to do good for humanity, for the world, and for yourself as well. And yeah, so thank you, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Bye. Also, I wanted to add that it is not about people stopping themselves from saying things just because it might seem too much for people to hear, but it's something that like is information that needs to be put out there. It's more so about the intention behind it and being conscious of your intention. Because sometimes it's like subconsciously deep down, it's like you are putting things out there for more views, even though like it might not be great for everyone to hear, but it might be polarizing, and so you put it up and don't care because you're focused on that. But I'm saying that people will be more conscious with their intentions and will put out information in a more good intention way, without trying to like instill fear, instill shame, and instill stuff like that. It's like, it's how it's being put out, and with what kind of energy and different lenses of viewing things, and so to make people come like have an understanding of something, rather than pushing out like hate or harm or fear and stuff like that. So just wanted to point that out. Okay, bye.